right, this is going to be a rant, but I'm going to put in some real hard facts, realities. I did the podcast post-game yesterday, and I saw a comment from great guy, Happy Hippie. He said, Curtis, please just give me some hope, some positivity. I need to hear from you. And so I went in saying, you know what? I'm going to do what I don't usually do and believe in Stephen Ross, believe that there's going to be some hope that he's going to do something, even if it's mostly a token move, moving Marvin Allen up and putting Grier in the back end. But within an hour, it came out, his little statement. Grier and co. are coming back with the full confidence of one awesome guy, Stephen Ross. And this is just not acceptable. This is pathetic. And for me, doing this gig, it's about people. You got to understand that. Somebody said, don't say you love your viewers. It makes you look stupid. I answer all these comments for a reason, because people invest in me and I invest back because it's a relationship. And I want to show you the little thing here by Jim Barron, great guy. Been talking to him for years. I'm 68 years old and a fan from 1960. I am done with the NFL and the Dolphins, and the fans are as much a problem with these Dolphins as Grier and Ross. Stop buying anything Dolphins. Stop buying tickets. Do not watch the games. If the fan base can do that, in 10 years, the Dolphins stand a chance. I'm going to miss you, Curtis. That breaks my heart. And I thank you for being here to help me through it, and I am done. It really matters to me. I work all the time. I hang out with my family, which I love. But I don't go out and have much friends or anything like that. I'm just a one-track kind of guy. And when I talk to people in the comments and they come on the lives, and even just Dolphin fans in general, they mean something to me. I've been doing this since I'm a kid. I remember crying over the Marino loss and wanting to be a Dolphin my whole life and watching for 40-something years. This is just a game, but it has more value than that. We invest tons of money. We invest our time and our souls in this thing. You should see these people at the home games sweating, wearing these costumes. And what they want is genuine attempt to win something tangible, a real attempt to give everything you have, just like the players on the field, to win. We want that from the coaches. We want that from the players. We want that from the GM and the front office, and we want it from the owner, and we're not getting it. Stephen Ross is a terrible owner. Maya Angelou once said, believe somebody when they show you who they are the first time. And we saw what he did to Sperano, and we laughed because with Sperano we might not have liked too much or whatever. But then you saw the Dawn of Ponte Civil War with Ireland and Philbin, and you saw Hickey getting brought in because no one wanted to work here for a year, and then cutting him out, and then bringing in Tannenbaum and Gase and splitting up the powers and bringing in Grier. And you saw he say, I'm staying out of business because I keep doing the same thing over. It's insanity. We've reached insanity. And then we had Flores, and we built Young, and then we got rid of him because he was a bad guy. And now we're here 6 years later, and we're in the same spot. And I'm going to prove it to you by Stephen Ross's own words. This is what he said when he fired Flores about Grier. Consider that right now, we're tight in the cap, and we're the oldest team in the league. How ironic. Listen to this.
In order for you to say that, his job is satisfactory.
Well, I think if you look at our roster, we have a very fine, I think, an excellent roster of young players. This was all, done in the last 3 years. We had a old, aging roster before that was leading us nowhere but to mediocrity. And I think that if you look at our roster today, and you see our salary cap and the players we have, I think we're well suited for the future.
Stephen Ross, maybe he wants to win, but he's already burned so many bridges along the way. Maybe he wants to get rid of Grier. Maybe he wants to get rid of McDaniel, but he knows no one else wants to come here. There was a time we couldn't even find a GM, and we had to bring in Hickey just for anybody as a placeholder. And then we brought Tannenbaum, his friend, and Grier. We had a hard time finding coaches last coaching cycle. That's why we went with McDaniel. He was plan C. Plan A was Peyton and Brady. And when you realize that he had Brady talking to him through the season, ready to bring him in, And he supposedly talked to him after this interview, but he had to be talking before. He's not just going to wait. They had the same agent, Brady and Peyton. But listen to what he said in this.
Let me be clear.
Over which direction you should go at quarterback.
First of all, let me be clear. It played no role in it at all. I have a lot of confidence in Tua, and I think, the next head coach will work with him or whoever else, but I have a lot of confidence in him. I watched him grow. I think he's a fine young man, and, he is right now the quarterback and will be dependent upon the new head coach.
So he tells you, oh yeah, Tua's our guy. When we find a coach, it's up to him. But he already had Brady and he was working on Peyton. He lied to us. And if he's going to lie to us, then he's not our friend. He doesn't have our best interest. And clearly what you're seeing now, either he's incapable of making the right decision or he knows his hands are tied because he's a pariah. I mean, look at the Patriots. We hate them. Not the players and not the, how it is, just fan type thing. But they got rid of Mayo in 1 year. They said, nope, he's not good. Move on. And they're going to get Vrabel. The arms race, they've got a top 4 pick. Sort of happy they didn't get number 1. But they're on their way. And if they get Vrabel there, they will outgun us big time in coaching. He will make that team tough. And they were pretty tough this year, being as gutted as they were. They got the most cap space, a huge arsenal in picks this year, and they get Vrabel. A lot of fans are happy because we went to the postseason twice, and guys, it could easily evaporate till you don't see it for a long, long time. It's just right around the corner. Ross is a terrible, terrible owner for whatever reason. Clearly because he's not an honest guy. Clearly because he's done something to the point where he is not able or he can't set us up right. And look at Hill. He's the number 1 player. He's our guy. You want to say we built around Tua? Okay, but we vested everything in Hill. This is his 3rd season. He's been injured this year. Didn't have a good year. He wants out. What are you going to get for him at 30? He's going to be 31 years old, coming off an injury in a terrible season. Loads of money. Do you want Hill? Disgruntled Hill going into a tough season. We have very little money. People are like, well, I will just extend contracts. You can't. All your money's tied into guys you don't want to extend. You don't want to continue with Tehran. Can't get rid of him post-June. You don't want to go on with Chubb. You can't get rid of him to post-June. You got problems with Tua? Okay, what are you going to do with that? Hill, do you want to extend that? So you can't use any of that money for free agency. 2025 is going to be tough. Do you think that he's going to be happy? So you got to get rid of him. What are you going to get? And what are you going to look like on the other side? Because if you take the leverage from Hill away, it's going to demand more from the offensive line. And Chris Grier has proven he is not a good GM to find offensive linemen. And even if he does, how many years before he gets all the pieces and then these guys develop and where we want to be? How many more years for Chris Grier? 6 now? 9? Really? Really is 9. Next year will be 10. Decade more? Is that what we got to wait? Hill needs to go. We talked about character. Guy's got all kind of problems off the field. He wanted his 2K. They got rid of him at KC for a reason. They're winning, we're losing, and we're stuck with broken, damaged goods that wants to get out. Coverage. Guys like Dudley Do-Wrong, biggest. Mike from DolphinsTalk.com, another huge guy. Both of them are putting their feet down saying, this is ridiculous. You could trust them. It's okay. I get things wrong. They get things wrong. But what you want is someone you can trust. Honor, trust, relationships, a binding between people that's genuine. That's what the game of football is about. You might not like the guy off the field. I've had plenty of guys, but on the field, you're brothers. You did everything you could to help the other guy next to you and win. That's what it was about. That's what football's about. It's about winning. It's about relationships. Giving everything you have to the guy next to you and the guy on your unit and in your team. We don't have that. Grier made fun of us and was proven wrong and then doubled down And he gets to smile and oily and snake his way back. 2021, I talked about the dentist snakes. It is so true. But look at the cover guys who are trying to go the hopium route and brush off and say it's not that bad. They've been wrong for a long time. Can you trust them? Maybe some of them just have bad evaluations. But if you can't trust them, then what does that say? You got to support the right things. I feel bad Jim is leaving. I invest in these comments for a reason because it matters to me. I hate that. I feel sad. There's some guy, a DF. I haven't talked to him in like a year. I keep wondering, is he all right? I haven't heard from him in a long time. People mad at him. You talk to him. You're investing. Fans, watch these fans when you go to a live game. And they go there and give everything. Is Stephen Ross giving everything? Is Garfunkel giving everything? This is not a legitimate franchise that is serious about winning. It is a show to get your money. It's a used car salesman, carpetbagger, snake oil salesman, whatever you want. We're not genuine about winning. Now, I've always evaluated fairly. I even try to evaluate Ross fairly just the last podcast and say, look, maybe he's going to do the right thing. This is his last chance. I will always cover fairly. But the reality is Dolphin fans deserve honor. They deserve loyalty and they deserve truth. And I'm always going to give it. And it might not put me on the hot track because the real fans that really want to win, they're kind of getting sick of it. And the fans are just kind of, maybe young to it. And they're just, maybe a decade or so in. They're just happy with what you got. They might not find me so hot. So I'm going to have to start covering all the teams. But I'm going to be doing that so I can be a watchdog. The watchman on the watchtower. Not always right. But I'm always going to try to be accurate. And I'm always going to be honest. You've got to know the truth. You can't be sold lies. You go buy the jerseys and go give them their money. Give them your money. That's what I want to do here. It's what I've always done here. But I've got to change some things because these are going to be hard, lean times. And for those who want to tell the truth, unless you're already huge, it's not going to be easy. So understand, I'm going to have to change my coverage up a little bit. I'll never stop doing the Dolphins. It'll be more work for me. But it's the only way my sponsors are going to be happy because I just got a bad feeling that lots of fans are just not going to be interested, especially in the type of coverage that maybe I provide. But for those who are still here and want it, I'm going to give it. But guys, you got to watch the cover guys. People saying, the offensive line's not bad, just a little bit away. No. Oh, no, this team can turn around. No. Maybe. Maybe. It's always possible. What's the chances? What's the odds? Chris Grier had, 5 number 1 picks in 2 years, and what do you got? Oldest team in the league, no cap space, but we're going to turn around next year. With the likes of the Broncos and the Chargers rising up and the Steelers and every other team. I mean, we're down there, guys. We couldn't beat the Jets. We beat one winning team, the Rams, when they had no offensive line and they wet the bed with stupid plays. Still a win. But is this really pointing in some kind? How many more years? Hopefully I'm wrong. But you've got to be clear what you got. A bad owner, terrible GM, and we're very, very low odds to have any real success. Still got to find your enjoyment where you can, and that's what I'm going to do. I do it because I love Zach Thomas. I love the memories of the past, and Brian Cox and Dan Marino and Don Shula. I love the game of football, and I love the Dolphins. Well, my insanity of doing that. So, guys, I thank you for everything. Some of you I won't be talking to. Hopefully you'll come back and just say once in a while, I'm doing well. It matters to me. I will continue coverage. I will do it less venting. I will reset my evaluations like I do every year. But, guys, you got to be honest. The worst thing to have is a bad owner, and we got a bad owner. So, wipe this slate clean and get back to evaluating. I won't vent anymore, but from me to you, I'm sorry. We deserve better. Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis app. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.